Part 7. Confronting the Dark Forces. Ended, the atmosphere in the cave changed rapidly. The initial warmth suddenly turned into a chilling sensation as a dark entity emerged. Before Sarah's eyes, amidst the misty haze, appeared the figure of a massive shadow. Indistinct, yet carrying an overwhelmingly negative force. This entity seemed to embody the curse, the very source of pain and loss that had plagued Blackwood Forest for centuries. Sarah stood trembling, her heart pounding wildly in her chest. She recalled everything she had read in Jonathan's journal and the warnings of the Ravenswood villagers. The dark entity moved unsteadily, its form shifting without a fixed shape, as if it were a collection of countless fears and resentments. The wind whistling through the crevices sounded like the wailing of a long-forgotten world. "I have been waiting for you," the entity's voice echoed, sounding as if it came from the deepest abyss of hell. "You dare trespass on my domain? You dare attempt to break the curse that has bound generations?" At that moment, Sarah felt the immense threat coursing through her, sending shivers down her spine. Yet, at the same time, she remembered the spirits that had entrusted her with the mission to set them free. She could not allow fear to take away her resolve. "I did not come here to cause harm," Sarah responded, her voice trembling. "I only seek the truth and wish to help the souls trapped by this curse. I believe in the power of compassion, and I believe that your pain can be freed." The dark entity let out a mocking laugh, a sound that echoed eerily, like the wind rustling through brittle, lifeless leaves. "Your compassion is weak against the power of darkness. Let us see if you have the courage to face the truth of suffering, or if your words are nothing more than the delusions of a foolish dreamer." Just then, the spirits summoned by the earlier ritual began to appear around Sarah. No longer were they mere faint shadows. Instead, they materialized as glowing figures of light, souls that had endured great suffering yet still harbored kindness within them. They encircled Sarah, forming a protective barrier, their radiance acting as a shield against the creeping darkness. Sarah felt the warmth of love and hope radiating from them, a pure energy that seemed to push back the shadows. She concentrated all her belief, speaking firmly from the depths of her heart. "Light will always triumph over darkness. I believe in the power of unity, in the strength of compassion, and I will not let fear stand in the way of the spirit's freedom." Her words resounded through the cave. The glow of the spirits intensified, gradually expanding to envelop both Sarah and the dark entity. A fierce spiritual battle erupted. On one side, the brilliance of hope and humanity. On the other, the overwhelming darkness of pain and hatred. Faced with the unwavering power of faith, the dark entity began to waver. Its form flickered erratically, struggling to maintain its presence, as if being consumed by the overwhelming force of love and kindness. For what felt like an eternity, the howling winds, the whispers of the lost, and the chaotic turbulence of the spiritual realm suddenly fell silent. The dark entity finally dissipated into the air, leaving behind a profound stillness, a temporary peace, yet one filled with promise. The spirits, now free, drifted gently, their faces soft with gratitude, as if they knew that true liberation was within reach. Sarah collapsed to the ground, drained yet deeply moved. She knew that she had just witnessed and played a part in changing the fate of Blackwood Forest and the souls that had been imprisoned for generations. And in that moment, She understood. No matter how much pain and fear the past had held, the light of hope and compassion would always endure. Part 8. Liberation and a New Beginning. Entity vanquished, the curse upon Blackwood Forest gradually unraveled. The first light of dawn filtered through the canopy, signaling a new beginning for the land once shrouded in darkness and sorrow. The spirits, imprisoned for centuries, began to ascend gently into the sky, as if they had finally found their way to the eternal realm. Standing in the midst of the forest, Sarah was overwhelmed with emotion. She looked up at the vast blue sky, where the first rays of morning illuminated the woods, bringing them back to life. With each spirit set free, she felt as though a piece of the dark past had been erased by the power of love and courage. In their final whispers, the grateful spirits conveyed their thanks to Sarah. "Thank you, brave one. Because of your sincerity, we are freed from the chains of suffering." Tears streamed down Sarah's face, tears of joy and relief. She understood that her journey had not merely been a mysterious adventure, but a journey of the soul, of growth, and of faith in the goodness of the world. She vowed that even as she returned to her everyday life, the memories, lessons, and strength she had gained in Blackwood Forest would always be a guiding force on her path forward. Leaving the cavern where the ritual had taken place, Sarah continued through the forest. The once constricting trails now seemed wider, bathed in the golden glow of morning light, carrying the breath of a restored nature. A miraculous transformation had begun. The scars of the past were healing, and the forest was slowly reclaiming its original beauty. Sarah returned to the town of Ravenswood with a heart full of gratitude and peace. The townspeople, once wary and fearful of the haunted Blackwood Forest, now sensed a renewed hope, a belief that the dark past had finally been laid to rest. At the Raven's Nest Cafe, where she had once listened to Mr. Henry's terrifying tales, the atmosphere now carried whispers of healing and renewal. In her first interview after the journey, Sarah shared her story with honesty and depth. She spoke of the whispers, the shadows, and her confrontation with the dark force, but more importantly, she emphasized the power of kindness, the unity among people, and the spirit's longing for freedom. Her tale not only shook the skeptics of the supernatural, but also ignited a belief that humanity could overcome fear and heal the wounds of the past. Sarah's articles about Blackwood Forest quickly spread, inspiring many, not only in Ravenswood but across the nation. She was invited to television programs, featured in major newspapers, and recognized as a testament to the power of courage and compassion. One chilly morning, as the mist slowly faded under the warmth of the rising sun, Sarah stood before the old wooden house, where it had all begun, reflecting on her journey. She ran her fingers over the weathered door, which no longer symbolized fear, but instead held the memories and invaluable lessons of her experience. She understood that life would always be filled with uncertainties, but it was courage and faith in goodness that would guide her through. The story of Blackwood Forest, from whispers in the dark to the light of dawn, was a journey through time, a bridge between past and present. It served as a reminder that even in the depths of fear, a flame of hope always remained, a force strong enough to change fate and bring peace to the soul. Sarah stepped out of the forest with a heart unburdened and a renewed sense of belief. She knew that her journey had never truly ended. Each new day was an opportunity to learn, to heal, and to spread light to those still trapped in the darkness of fear and loss. Though the spirits had ascended to the eternal realm, their voices lingered in Sarah's mind, reminding her that all wounds could heal and all darkness could be dispelled by compassion and bravery. She continued to write, chronicling her experiences and the tale of Blackwood Forest, not merely as a ghost story, but as a hymn of life, faith, and human resilience. As Sarah returned to her everyday life in the city, she carried the memories of the forest with her. Whenever she faced hardships or felt lost amid the rush of the world, she would recall the whispers of the spirits and the light of dawn after the storm. And so, the tale of Blackwood Forest, with its pain, mysteries, and triumphs of the human spirit, became an inseparable part of her soul, a living proof that with faith and courage, the impossible could become reality.